What's going on, y'all? It's your boys, Georgia Bros 5, and we coming to you live with another recording, back again for the very first time. It's your boy, Channel D, aka Four-Door Mazda. I'm talking left front, right front, left back, right back, coming right back with a motherfucking video. And I'm here with my brothers as God
So,
is witnessing. Please introduce yourselves.
what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Joachen.
Hey, what up, y'all, man? It's Darius.
Okay. Joel, Joachen, and Darius, man, and we are here talking about, once again, as you can tell by the title of the video, it's Avatar, The Last Airbender, Book 2.
Oh, yeah.
That dose.
Oh, that dose.
Book dos.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pass off the microphone to my man, Joachen, and he'll take it from here, man.
Yeah, I'm going to take it from here, man. We about to get into this Avatar. Book 2,
Book 2.
Earth. So we just going to pick it up right where it left off. So after the siege at the Northern Water Tribe, and they part ways, Team Avatar heads to the city of Omashu by escort of some Earth Kingdom general. I can't remember his name. Where Aang is hoping to be taught earthbending by King Bumi. But that Earth King general is like, you can end the war sooner than later by using the Avatar state. But Aang can't control the Avatar state. So they're like, no worries. We'll just put you through a couple tests to try to trigger it, which all fail except for the last test that he did on Katara. Made that man Aang think that he killed her. So that triggered the Avatar state.
Wasn't having it.
Nah, that was it. That was the last straw. Triggered the Avatar state, and he ran everybody. So he got exactly what he wanted, and he was actually happy. He was happy.
He's like, yes, you did it.
Like, yes,
I know you could do it.
This pleases me.
Yes, perfect.
Yep, that man was happy. But Aang was like, hey, look, this ain't it, man. That's not the way I want to do this. But something pretty important happens when Aang was in the Avatar state. Roku is like, hey, Aang, if you die in the Avatar state, it break the cycle. There ain't gonna be no more Avatars if that happens.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So after that, they head out to Omashu, and they're not getting escorted this time because that man's clearly crazy. So they head to Omashu by themselves, and they see that it's been captured by the Fire Nation. So they sneak in to the city so Aang can try and rescue Bumi. And so, they sneak in and they find Bumi, and he's like, hey, why did you let them take over your city? And he's like, well, I'm just waiting for the most beneficial time to strike.
Love that man.
And
Bumi.
yeah, man, that man got them. He got them ways, man. That man be thinking. He be sounding crazy, but he know what he be doing. So now that he's like, unable to teach him, Bumi's like, you need to find an earthbender who waits and listens. So, that's what they do. So once again, they set off to find this earthbending teacher for Aang. And while they're flying, Aang gets like attracted by this swamp. And he's just like heading down to the swamp, and the team gets like separated, and they all have like visions, and some are like painful, just trigger past events that happened. But Aang is presented with a vision of his earthbending teacher, unknowingly to him at the time though. So they leave the swamp, still in search of an earthbending teacher for Aang, and they run across like an underground fight scene where Aang sees a girl from his vision from the swamp. And, she's blind. So it's like, oh, she waits and listens before attacking, just like Bumi said, So Toph joins Team Avatar. And, yeah, man, that's the Earthbender. Toph. My bad, I didn't say it. So Toph, she joins the... Hey, man. Hey,
Do that.
I will. I will. I will. So Toph joins the team and starts earthbending Aang, and Aang is just like struggling with it because it's like the opposite airbending, and it requires more like resolve and just a more direct approach than just any other element that people bend. So after all the hard work that everyone's been putting in, they decide to go on a vacation. And Sokka, like everybody chooses like a little vacation spot. And Sokka chose to go to a library with endless knowledge in hopes to get like one up on the Fire Nation. And they do. They do get that piece of information. Um, and while they're in the library, some sandbenders take Appa, and it leaves them stranded in the desert. And now this absolutely like crushes Aang, and that man just like loses hope. So so now they need to get this information that I mentioned earlier to the Earth King and Ba Sing Se so that they can help with defeating the Fire Nation. I'll explain the plan later. So on their way to Ba Sing Se, Aang decides that they'll help. So yeah, on the way to Ba Sing Se, Aang decides that he's going to help this family with a pregnant woman to get her to Ba Sing Se because they don't have any other way. Some people stole, their belongings and had their tickets in there for a ferry ride to Ba Sing Se from where they were at. And so, on their way, escorting this family, they give birth to this child, and that kind of returns Aang to somewhat of normal Aang. Gives him his hope back. He's not as devastated as he was before.
Yep.
Mhm. And so after getting to the Earth Kingdom, they keep trying to meet the Earth King, and they explain to him the situation, to explain the situation to him. But the Earth King has like an advisor, Long Fang, I think his name is.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Long
he
Fang.
wants to, yeah. And this dude's crazy. He wants to make it seem like there's no war at all inside of Ba Sing Se.
There's no
So-
war in Ba Sing Se.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se. And he also hints that he knows where his bison is, Appa. And so they keep Aang away from the king. And no, I didn't mention it, but so they try to keep Aang away from the king, and anyone in the Earth Kingdom that speaks about the war is usually brainwashed into believing that there is no war in Ba Sing Se, and they're just not even who they used to be. So while trying to expose that Long Fang is doing this, they discover his like secret underground lair where he brainwashes people, and that's where they find Appa again. And Aang is like finally like truly back to himself. And you'll see like that change in him. So after Aang gets Appa back, the team then splits up for a moment, and Aang goes to a guru who wants to teach him how to control the Avatar state. But Aang leaves that too soon because he can see that Katara was in trouble during the process of getting that under control. So he comes back to Katara's aid, and he gets struck down in battle there. And that is pretty it for Aang. This was super Aang heavy, and like this season had a lot to do with Aang, and just him developing as the Avatar. I think every season has been that, but this one was like really heavy on Aang. And another person that I will let my man Darius talk about.
For sure. So, Aang had a lot of big parts in this. It was cool. He did his thing. But that man Zuko?
He ain't no Zuko.
That
That
man
dude.
Zuko. I
Talk about
after rewatching this, because before I've been a Toph dude. I've been a Toph dude all my life ever since the show came out. Toph, that's my ace boon coon. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Talk about it.
this man Zuko, after rewatching, I'm like, this Fire Nation story, this junk heavy. I love it.
Man.
I love it. So basically, episode 1, just right off the bat, just all outside of the Avatar story. We ain't even worried about them. This man Zuko and Iroh, after the whole fight at the northern water tribe. You know, he almost died. He's getting healed up. You know, him and Iroh chilling out. They're like, man, this young crazy. You know, what we gonna do next? And while they're chilling, Zuko's sister pops up, Azula. You know, he ain't seen her in however long. In the first book, they kind of hinted to her a couple times, maybe showed her outline. But now you actually get to see her, get to see what her personality is like, get to see how crazy she is. And she comes with news saying, hey, uncle, brother, father said he's sorry. He forgives y'all. Y'all can just come back. We can all be a family and be cool. You know, Zuko, he's been fighting this entire time to get his honor restored, to gain the respect of his father back. So this thing just, you know, hits his heart real hard. He's like, daddy, you know, on some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just father stuff. Yes, it was them feels. He was like, what? Yeah, man, he felt that. He was all happy. You know, Iroh is Zuko's uncle, meaning he's also the Fire Lord's brother. So he was like, Zuko, he was like, I know my brother a long time, and he ain't really the forgiving type. And you know, but Zuko, he's kind of blinded by just, you know, happiness because he hasn't been home in so long. So he's like, nah, I ain't hearing what you saying. Dad wants me back. I'm going back. So morning comes, Zuko's like, all right, about to get on this boat with my sister. We're gonna go see Dad. It's gonna be great. Iroh's like, all right, man, you going? I'll come with you. Zuko's like, bet, we about to be a family. As they're walking on the ship, one of the guards is like, all right, yep, just make sure you secure the prisoners. Yep. Bruh spilled the whole junk, just prisoners. And then just right off of him saying prisoners, it just breaks out into a Fire Nation fight. You know, Zuko and Iroh throwing hands with all the guards and Azula. This is where you first get to see Azula's hands. Nasty. Nasty. So calculated, so precise. Yeah, just made Zuko look like garbage. You know, they scrap, but eventually they pretty much get away. And then this is what starts, I guess, this book for Zuko and Iroh. This is pretty much their finding out what they should do next with their life, because they're part of the Fire Nation, so everybody already hates them. But now they're also, you know, what is it? What's the word? They're enemies of the Fire Nation because they're trying to capture them as being traitors. So they really have no home to go to. Like, pretty much everyone hates them because everybody hates the Fire Nation, and now the Fire Nation hates them too. So they go through a little ritual, cut off their little top buns, and then they're like, all right, well, we're wanderers now. We got to figure out what to do with our lives. They end up moving on. They run into a couple Earth Nation villages. They start to try to get used to, because, you know, they're coming from royalty, so they have to get used to simple living, you know, living in huts, doing manual labor, all this stuff. They're getting treated like homeless people. You know, Iroh, he's real zen, so he's real chill. He's trying to give Zuko good words every day, but Zuko, it's hard for him to adapt to this. So he's out, going out at night, robbing people, trying to steal for food and all this. He's like, all this work, I ain't doing that. I'm putting in work. And he just sees, bruh, put the mask on. He's a different person, bruh. That blue spirit. You know, he's robbing all these people. He stole them some more swords. He's taking food, taking you know, people's animals, and he actually ends up finding a lot of people that treat him nice. You know, this family took him in. You know, they fed him. They, you know, let him take a shower, gave him water, all that stuff, and then, you know, treating him real nice. And Zuko's just not used to having anyone treat him nice, because also in this arc, you'll see a whole bunch of flashbacks from his mother. Basically, his mother was the only person that was ever nice to him, ever. You know, Iroh, when he was younger, was out in the war. His dad is a dick. Zula's a bigger dick. It's just, he had a rough childhood. His mother was the only person that was ever nice to him, so he's not used to nice people treating him kindly. So even after all these people treat him nice, when they leave, Zuko ends up stealing their horse and running off. You know, and Iroh's trying to preach to him the whole time, like, hey, these people just showed us a kindness. And, you know, Zuko's just, he's having a lot of inner spirit struggles with what he should do with his life. So moving forward, he ends up finding another village. People are getting, you know, beat up by some Earth Nation soldiers who are like kind of corrupt soldiers. And he ends up, you know, fighting, beating them up. Zuko still got hands. So he helps them out. And then moving on, he ends up leaving Iroh, saying that, hey man, I need to go. I gotta find my own way because I gotta do all this stealing and stuff. You ain't with that. I can't be living broke out here. I gotta do what I gotta do. So they part ways. Iroh's just going on his own little wise man's journey, and Zuko's trying to figure out what to do with his life. Let's see. Moving on, he end up meeting up again later on after he helped that village and got shunned from them because they found out he was a firebender. He went back to Iroh. He was like, hey, it's been so long, yada yada, but I need to get stronger, so teach me more moves. He was like, yeah, you're right, you need to get stronger because Azula gave you hands last time we met her. So Iroh's like, all right, this is how you do the lightning technique. It's pretty much the most refined version of firebending. He teaches him. Zuko can't do it because he has all these conflictions within him. So he actually is unable to master the lightning technique. So I was like, well, I'll teach you a different technique. It's to redirect lightning. And he learned that from studying the other villages. He said it's actually originally a water bending move. So he teaches that to Zuko. Zuko's like, all right, I got it. Shoot some lightning at me so I can practice. I was like, you're crazy. I'm not shooting lightning at you. Why would I do that? So Zuko ends up going to the top of a mountain while it's, raining and storming so he can get struck by lightning. And it's a really powerful scene because, he's up there. He was like, you screwed me all my life anyway. Go ahead and strike me down now like you always do. And he actually ends up like breaking down and crying like on top of this mountain just because all his emotions that he normally keeps bottled up and all the confliction he's been going through these past few months, it all just comes out in this scene. So it's real powerful stuff. But after that, Zuko starts to have like a change of heart. He's like, all right, I'm gonna try to chill out a little bit. They end up getting to Ba Sing Se, and they start working in a tea shop. They chilling out, ain't doing no fire bending. They just trying to kick it, be peaceful people. Iroh, as you know, is a great tea maker, so they actually end up getting invited to the upper society to make even more tea. Iroh gets his own shop. Zuko's working in it. They're having a good life. But Zuko ends up finding word that they have the Avatar's bison. Really, Zuko shouldn't even be going after the Avatar anymore because the whole Fire Nation hates him. But it's so ingrained in him, he can't help but think that that's what he needs to be doing to have purpose in his life. So he goes after him, finds the bison. He's trying to break it free, and he doesn't really have a plan on what to do with it after he breaks it free. Iroh ends up popping up being like, hey Zuko, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I found the Avatar's bison, so I just got to get it out of here. He's like, and then what?
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do with the giant bison? How's that gonna help you do anything? He's like, oh well, as soon as I get it out of here, then he's like, no, you don't ever think anything through. And Iroh starts laying into him, just hard.
Think these things through.
Yeah, just hard. Just stop being stupid. You did this last time. You almost died, and Avatar and his friends had to save you. Like, chill out. Yeah. Like we're not even getting anything. The whole Fire Nation hates us. Why are you even still going after the Avatar? And Zuko decides to. He's like, you're right. He ends up letting the bison go, and then it returns to Aang, and then him and Iroh just kind of disappear into the night. After that, Zuko actually gets physically sick because he did a good thing. Like, being evil was so ingrained into him. Like, him doing something that went against pretty much what he thought, what he morally thought was right. It made him actually sick. He was sick for however many days. I was like, hey, you're going through a whole bunch of conflicts, but after you get over this, you'll feel much better. And he does. After that happens, he feels way better. He's smiling. He's happy. He's helping people, making tea. It's crazy. He looks like a young Iroh. Like, he feels better than he ever felt. What happens? Azula ends up finding out he's in Ba Sing Se, so of course she got to come mess up his life again right when he gets right. She rolls up you're going to prison. Zuko, you gonna go there too, unless you want to help me catch the Avatar. And then Father will definitely respect you, and you help me take over Ba Sing Se so we can rule as brother and sister. And he's like, we could rule his brother and sister. And he gets all hype, and it just breaks everything that Iroh and him were working on. Pretty much the whole book. You know, he ends up fighting against Team Avatar and all this stuff, and then you'll see what happens. I guess in the next book, how he goes on about his life from there.
Yeah.
But
so
that's Zuko.
Hey, that's Zuko. Aang and Zuko, man, big players in this book.
Facts, bro.
Shoot, I guess I'll talk about Katara a little
Hey,
bit.
man, talk about it, bro.
You know, it's
Self-made.
not too much what's happening with Katara in here. You know, she stayed with the hands. You know, gotta have hands.
True. She did. She got real nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
She
it just showed it. You know, just how much she advanced so quickly. Paku said it himself. You know, her and Aang start to get a little closer. When they get stuck in the desert, actually, yeah, this is a really big part for her. When they got stuck in the desert with no Appa, like she truly was everyone's rock out there. Like she kept everybody like just together and focused for the most part, not counting freaking Sokka. That man was gone off that juice.
Oh yeah, that cactus juice, boy.
That cactus juice, boy. Well, when Aang was learning the Avatar state, that's when he saw Katara in trouble, and it was like her fighting Azula and Ty Lee and May, and she got captured along with Zuko, and those two actually had a little connection down there before Zuko decided that he was going to be evil again. Yeah, and they saw that they had a lot in common, despite everything that Zuko had put them through over these past few months, or how much ever time has been going on. Then Katara and Aang are like fighting their way, like just them two fighting the Dai Li, Zuko, freaking Azula. They were just down there scrapping, just everybody, and just giving everybody hands. But it just at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. It's just them two. That's really all I could say about Katara for this season.
Yeah,
just a huge support character for Aang, just getting him through all the emotions that that she saw him struggling with throughout the whole book. And ultimately like saving his life at the end, because he was done. But she had that special water that she got from Paku, from the northern water tribe, and used that junk, and that junk brought him back. But yeah, that's it, man.
Hey man, I feel that Katara dope.
She is, man.
But you know who doper?
Tell me.
Go ahead, say
that
it.
Azula. God,
talk about
dang,
it.
you
gotta
saying, bro?
talk about it.
Fire Nation on one, bro. I see why the other three running from them, bro. They dudes nice.
Got some hitters,
God
bro.
dang, they do.
They really do got some headhunters, bro.
Like, yeah,
They really
man.
do.
This chick Azula came out crazy. They had already shown the flashbacks of, Zuko, when he was trying to learn different firebending techniques, and then, his sister was getting praised for, doing them better. Pretty much certified prodigy. Azula just been out here, man. Like I said, from the Zuko story, as soon as she came into the show, she was already trying to trick people like, hey, we gonna capture them, bring them back, throw them in jail or kill them. I don't care. You're like, but they're your brother. We gonna capture them, throw them in jail or kill them. Why you talking to me?
Yeah.
Like that junk. And then,
That changed nothing.
shoot, one of the earliest scenes with her, and I love it. I love how they built up her character really fast. Like you got to understand exactly who she was as a person. She was on the ship. They were headed towards wherever, and then the captain of the ship was like, "Hey, Lord Azula, the icebergs won't permit us to get through today." He's like, "But I said get there today." Yes, but the icebergs won't. Do the icebergs control this ship, ma'am?
Yes.
Do the icebergs control this ship? No, ma'am. Who controls this ship? You. So if you don't get us there, I'm definitely gonna kill you. No, it was like if you don't get us there, I'll throw you overboard and let the water and ice kill you.
Yeah.
He's like, so are you gonna listen to the water and ice that's already had his mind made up about killing you, or me who's still mowing it over.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this
ultimate evil.
Yo, I'm like, this chick's sick.
To me,
God dang, for real. Like, that junk. He's like, oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, bro. She
that Avengers shit, bro. That shit's
like,
so funny.
God, she rules with an iron fist, bro. And that junk respectable. Like, that junk, you'll see, her leadership potential is nuts. Speaking of leadership, after she had like her first run in, she's like, all right, the rest of these Fire Nation dudes trash. I gotta go make my own team to actually get stuff done. So she goes and assembles the team. It's this quick little 3-man team. It's her, this chick named Ty Lee, which is basically from the Hyuga clan. And god dang May, who's god dang Tintin's older sister. Yeah, man, these three just their first run in with Team Avatar was just disgusting.
Yeah,
like,
it
just
really showed like the difference between
yes,
them, like,
the difference in skill was so vast. Like, Ty Lee got in there, hit a couple pressure points, and Qatar was on the ground twitching, couldn't move an arm, just all this stuff. Like, I can't bend, you can't move at all. It's like, bro, y'all are weak. Like, she was like, May over there bored. She done locked everybody up with knives and scissors, stuck them to trees, and just like, is this it? Is this what we came in for? I thought there was some nice dudes over here. Why'd you call us here? Like, just her team is disgusting. I love that they brung those three in together. Moving forward, like I said, Azula, Prodigy, they have a lot of flashbacks in this arc. Pretty much them showing one that got me. It's another one that pretty much showed Azula's like true nature. Is when they were kids, Azula was performing her firebending techniques for their grandfather, and they found out that Iroh's son died, and Azula was over there laughing. Zuko was like, what the heck is wrong with you? Why would you laugh at that? And she was like, well, he's a warrior. He's over here crying over his son dying. He's trash. Like, he's like, what? Or he's just sad that his only son is dead. Like, what? That doesn't make him trash. And she's like, nope. A real warrior would have stayed there and kept fighting and burned that place to the ground. Iroh's trash. Father should be the next Fire Lord. Side note, Iroh's supposed to be the next Fire Lord. He's, the current Fire Lord's older brother, so he was more in line. They haven't really gotten into it. Actually, do they show what happened that made the grandfather die?
No, they never talked about it.
Well,
they never got
since they don't, I'ma assume. I'm pretty sure they killed him. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure freaking Fire Lord Ozai, is that his name?
Yeah, Ozai.
Yeah, Ozai killed his grandfather so that he would be next on the throne instead of Iroh, because they crazy. And Azula was over there watching whatever conversation they were having before all that happened, and she was laughing because she always wanted her dad to be the Fire Lord anyway. Evil.
And that just was so ugly because they, the whole thing with Zuko and Ozai killing him, and then his mom.
Yep.
That part was just so ugly. If they were gonna kill Azulong anyway, like why was any of that necessary?
Like, it sucks, man. Zuko been through it. Like, through it. Ugh. But we ain't talk about him. Talk about Azula. Crazy prodigy. Just nasty. And then she ends up getting to Ba Sing Se. Like I said, she caught up, with Zuko and the Avatar and all them. She actually infiltrates it because before they got there, they beat up the Kyoshi warriors from book 1, took their clothes, infiltrated as the Kyoshi warriors, ends up finding the Dai Li. Azula ends up double crossing what's his name, Long Fang, and becomes the owner of the Dai Li, which runs the Earth Kingdom. So she's taken over the Dai Li, the Earth Kingdom, pretty much everything in one fell swoop. And it literally was just her and her two cohorts that just went in there and took it over. And that's how she ended up running everything, having the jurisdiction to say, hey, we're about to arrest, you and Iroh and so, and you work for me now, and we're taking all this stuff over. She was running stuff. She was running stuff the entire show, giving everybody great hands. It's just nasty. You gotta watch the next one just to see how it continues.
Shoot. Hey, you mind if I?
Hey man, talk.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about soccer.
Hey man, talk about it.
So, kind of like his sister, Sokka didn't have like a too big of a part here. Besides, when he picked his vacation spot to the museum, he found out the weakness to the Fire Nation that could potentially end them the war, which was the solar eclipse, which temporarily prevents the Fire Nation from using their bending. I don't think they got into how long they actually had in this season, but so that was the information that they wanted to get to the Earth King, and on their way after they got like Appa back, Team Avatar ran through the Earth Palace.
Oh, they
that
did.
Earth King's palace. They like just the choreography of that scene was so
they were just
beautiful.
sprinting and taking everyone out.
Yes, and apologizing
nice.
for how they were doing it.
Sorry, I gotta throw you over here. We're so sorry about this.
We're sorry. We're on your team. We really are. That joke was so good. But like Darius said, Azula and her gang took over. So after Sokka and them explained to the Earth King their plan, and they left and started doing Team Avatar stuff, and then the Earth King, thinking that the Kyoshi warriors were the good Kyoshi warriors, not the bad Kyoshi warriors, he started telling them the whole plan. He was like, "Hey, that junk sucked, and this is what we're gonna do to the Fire Nation."
But Zulu, she was smiling. She was like, "You don't say." That sounds like a great plan. Oh,
Tell me more. So yeah, freaking Earth King ruined it, and then he wasn't even in the rest of the show to just add insult to injury. He dipped on everybody. He was like, "Well, y'all seem like y'all got this under control. I'm gonna take my bear."
Facts, but we
gonna be out here.
That bear jump was funny because they were like a platypus bear, a turtle bear. No, just a bear. That's weird.
Just says bear.
Heck is a
and
bear.
It was just a bear.
Yes, but it was a bear.
But other than that, Sokka just delivering the laughs, all season. That's what he's there for, man. He got that cactus juice, man. That is a highlight of the season, man.
Yeah, he was gone off of that.
Gone off that cactus juice. Then when he went to that poetry club, that was pretty funny. And they're schooling that lady. Eventually got thrown out head first. And then when everybody kind of separated, when Aang got Appa back, he got to go hang out with his dad and the other Southern Water tribe for a little bit. And so Aang had to come and scoop him up for the bad news about Katara. Yeah. Other than that, man, that wraps up my man Sokka.
Hey, man. But gotta talk about the wise, the guru, bruh, the goat, literally. God damn. Iroh.
You gotta talk about
Dragon of the West. Come on, man.
Everybody in the Fire Nation ones up Team Avatar every time.
Like they do. I'm telling you.
It was all one this season.
I did. I really enjoyed the Fire Nation people throughout this junk. Like freaking Iroh, man. I mean, like I said, from the Zuko story, most of his role was trying his best to, help Zuko, find the right path and, find his own way away from what his father has always told him what was right and what was wrong. But heck, besides that, earlier while they were fighting, they found the Rhino Rough Riders, Firebenders, whatever their names are. And they were like, oh, hey, yeah, those are my old friends. And they start trying to kill him. And Zuko was like,
Yes,
do any of your, he's like, are there any friends you know that don't want to kill us? And then this actually, triggers Iroh's memory. He's like, friends that don't want to kill us. And then he remembers a group that he's a part of, which will, blow up more in book 3, but it's the entry of the White Lotus.
yes.
Yep. In that same desert where everybody got lost at, they were in this bar, and he ends up playing Pie Show with somebody. They exchange some codes or whatever. Excuse me. Oh, I almost died.
You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm cool. So they exchange some code, and then it's basically like, oh, you're a brother, brother of the White Lotus, come over here. And then they found all these backdoor connects, and pretty much that's how they ended up getting to Ba Sing Se, through the help of his brothers in the White Lotus. And then another pretty big scene for Iroh was after they were in Ba Sing Se. Pretty much it was the episode 15. Everybody had their own little personal stories.
Yeah, like the tales of so and so.
Yep. So the Tales of Iroh, pretty much. Today was a special day, so he's just walking around. The first person he meets is this, these little kids, and they're, kicking the ball around, and they break the window, and he drops some knowledge on them, and tells them about, hey, you should do this, you got to be right by this, and stand up for this. But they end up running away because that dude was trying to kill him.
But not today. Well, they dipped.
And then he actually ends up meeting like 3 ages of boys throughout that whole story. And basically that was supposed to symbolize like the 3 stages of a young man, which is what his son went through. And then it ends with him, kind of doing like this funeral memorial kind of service, because this was supposed to be his son's birthday. On today, so he's mourning him, and that's where the the famous Soldier Boy song, not that
Oh. Okay.
leaves from the vine,
Kidding.
leaves from the vine. Everybody that watches this show, you gonna know that song, and it was a real sentimental episode. It really gets you on your heartstrings because you know how good of a person Iroh is. So it sucks that he has to, go through that pain. And that also shows why he invests so much in Zuko, because he doesn't have his son to invest that knowledge and to see them do right. So he really wants to help Zuko make it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for Iroh on book 2.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot, man, let's talk about the GOAT.
Hey man.
Toph, man. Let's bold.
Legendary, bro. Toph,
Let's try to get that
newest member of Team Avatar. First seen in a vision.
For Aang too, man.
Oh yeah.
Perfect teacher for Aang.
And it's
like
it's I like it because because he has Katara as his waterbending teacher, right? And she's all sweet and soft and all this stuff. But in Avatar, just like having to learn the 4 elements, he has to be perfectly balanced. So he has to be able to take all different types of attitudes, all different types of elements, all this. So Toph is that perfect
instruction.
Toph is that perfect contrast from Katara, because she's just I ain't here to compliment you. I ain't here to coddle you, nothing. You either stop this rock or die. So get with it. Like it's great, man. He was like, yeah, man, you stand your ground. Man.
Boy,
For real. That's a hurt. Stand your ground, bend this rock. Like this is how you become an earthbender. You gotta be rock solid. You gotta do it.
rock glide.
Oh.
Yeah, man. And Toph had a pretty difficult time, like just being a part of the team, because she was very hold your own weight type of person. But that's not very Team Avatar. They all take care of each other. They all take responsibility for each other, and Katara went with that junk, boy. She was like, "Hey, look, this is how we operate. We're a family out here. You help unpack, just like even Momo. Even Momo puts in his work. Like she was just not having that junk, man. And you know, eventually, you know, she came around and truly became a part of like the family that they had built over, you know, the whole 2 seasons. Started blending in just fine. Which is understandable given her background that she came from, though. You know,
she was
came
rich.
from like a super rich family. Like, you know, even though she was like rough around the edges, she was still pretty privileged at the end of the day.
Definitely.
So, yeah, and she's a kid. So
all of that definitely factored
all of them
in.
were kids, but she was like a kid, because she didn't have to grow up seeing stuff from the war, like you know,
definitely.
Aang and Katara and Sokka did. So it was understandable why her attitude was like that at the beginning.
Yeah, and then I mean, with her coming from all that privilege, you know, she actually ended up running away from home to get away from her protective parents, because you know, and then they actually sent people after her, you know, and eventually they caught up to her. They caught up to her. They was like, well, we know she's a great earthbender, so we ain't trying to fight that dude. We gonna sneak her. We gonna trick her into coming in here. We gonna lock her in this box. Can't nobody do nothing.
Metal box.
Yes, can't nobody do nothing from this metal box, and we gonna deliver her back to her parents and get paid. Yep.
Tell them what happened.
So she was in there, bro. They were
Please tell them what
It
happened.
was like, you think you great, and they was talking. Cause she was just sitting in there like, dang, I'm in this metal box, I can't do nothing. But they was outside talking cash, like, man, you better stop in there. You think you the nicest earthbender, but can't nobody bend metal, stupid. And she was, they was out there talking cash. Dumb little girl, Jablon, god damn, effing Ray Charles looking muff. God dang, which way did she go? Which way did they go?
Wonderhead ass.
Yeah, boy. God dang. They were. She was like, I bet. And she in there. She was in there feeling it. She was like, I can sense the traces of rock that's in the metal. She's like, she was in there tapping that junk with her wrist, with her palms. Tap, tap, tap. She was like, oh, hold on. She like punched a little dent in there. She's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this now.
I'm the best.
Yes, boy. She bust that junk open. They were like, what the heck? Threw them in there.
What's it wide open?
Hey, she busted wide.
Wide open. God dang.
Threw them in there, closed that junk back. Like, I'm Toph. I'm the greatest earthbender in the world. And that was that
at that time.
But she
was
great. It's definitely, you know? She can make an argument for herself. 100%. 100%.
Definitely can.
There's some other earthbenders that would probably still give her hands just because of how much earthbending they can do. But being able to do metal bending is definitely a feat. Definitely.
Like she's just like so well rounded.
Yeah, she's just
bending. And
she's just a prodigy, man. That's because she wasn't technically the strongest yet. Because Boomy would still give her hands, but she's definitely a prodigy in it. And after she, grows up, becomes undoubtedly the best.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Shoot, man, that was tough.
Yeah, that was tough, bro. That was everybody.
That was everybody, man. Whoa. Yep. This one might have been it was a little long, but it's a great show, man.
Hang through it, man. I appreciate you getting to this part.
Yes.
Shout out to viewers, man.
Shout out viewers, man. Shout out
subscribers.
Shout out subscribers, man. Shout out that man, Tony Tyrell, man. He said he had watched the first one. He said he loved the second book and he was waiting on it. Here it is. Let us know what you think, man.
It's here for you. It's here for you.
Okay. Awesome job, guys. Definitely good quality right there. I love that. I do want to say rest in peace to Walker Edmiston. He's a prominent voice actor, had a lot of roles, and this was actually his final role was the portrayal of Fire Lord Azulon for his death in 2007. As you know, that's Ozai's and Iroh's father. And speaking of Iroh, Mako Iwamatsu,
Shout
rest in
him
peace
out.
to him as well.
Yeah, that
He
man
voiced
died.
Pyro,
R.I.P.
and he died from throat cancer after production was completed. And then he was replaced the following season and The Legend of Kotaro by Greg Baldwin. So, two amazing voice actors in the same show, playing a father and son, passing away in the same time. It's pretty sad, but rest in peace to both of them.
Rest in
We want to
peace,
say,
man.
if you got to this point in the video, man, really appreciate you guys sticking with us and enjoying our content. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you like to hear. What you would be interested in hearing us talk about. We got some surprises going on for you guys coming up soon. Some movie comparisons that we're going to be doing. We're not going to be saying any names just yet,
What
but we
that
hope that
is?
you guys, you never really know.
Hey, what that is?
We don't really know, you know what I'm saying? We can't go talk about too much,
Hey,
but we
don't.
guarantee that we putting in some long hours for research and studying to bring you guys the best content that we can give you guys. We always appreciate y'all continuing to support us, and we'll see y'all in the next video, man.
Yo.
Peace.
Deuce.